What's up, guys? My name's Sam, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a really cool product that we've been working on called Sign365. For anyone who's ever tuned into a webcast before, this format will feel really familiar to you guys. We're going to be walking through the product itself, why it's awesome, why it's going to be great for your business. Really passionate about this product. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Sam Wyndham. I am the lead developer on the Sign365 project. I've been working on the product for over the last 3 years, in conjunction with a large group training organization in order to develop this product. If you want to know a little bit about me, I love Perth. I love cycling, particularly around the city here, along the river. Just absolutely beautiful, absolutely magic. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it. We've been working on this product here at Biz, in order to provide a lot of value to group training organisations in general. The team here at Biz are all about building products that are simple, and products that will simplify our customers' relationship with technology. We also look at making products that are designed to be elegant and functional for the people who are using them. And we pride ourselves in providing the best customer support here in the industry. So before we get into Sign365, I wanted to just sort of touch on the reason behind why Sign365 is a necessary product, and why we built Sign365. Because the thing is we've got we've been looking at the way that data has been entered into modern business systems, and more often than not, it requires an overhead. So let's just take a look at the way that certain businesses enter information these days. So most data entry occurs through the use of business apps, or through the use of email, or through the use of even paper, in a business. So many businesses will use forms. They'll use perhaps Word documents and things like that to record information that enters into the business. And this is important. This is basic stuff. This is necessary things that need to happen. You need to record information, because recording information is how you can make business decisions in the future. It's how you can record metrics. Super important stuff. But more often than not, yeah, like I said, we have that middleman in your business, which is translating the data, if I can use that word, or moving the data, typing in the data, re-entering the data into various different systems, and that's a big problem. Um, Particularly when we're looking at office administrators, which is usually the person that's delegated to making a lot of those movements of information. They end up becoming paper pushers. For want of a better word, they are just moving data from document to document, from system to system, and that's that's not really great. It's important, but it's not great for time management or for meaningful work. A lot of that sort of work is really menial, and it's also not great for keeping track of where information is going within your business, because even though you might delegate one person to look at where the information's being spread throughout your business, when it comes down to it, you need to have documents to be able to actually track, okay, what's been moved to where's the information been moved, especially if you've got a lot of business apps. I think a study which was released by UiPath in or just the start of this year, it said that on average, their businesses they have nearly 78 apps, and this is for small to medium sized business, have on average 78 applications that they use. So if you're moving all that data around between these 78 different applications, and all of them are probably very useful and necessary, you've got a ton of things, you've got a ton of information going to different places, and it's hard to keep track of. So, with that in mind, the other thing that I would say is we need to look at how this data entry process occurs to get a better idea of what's going on. So if we look at data entry in group training organizations, and for those of you who don't know, group training organizations have a really simple workflow when it comes to their data entry. And group training organizations operate by hiring apprentices and trainees and matching them with host employers. And yeah, so we'll use them as an example. So we've got this office administrator here, Alice, and her job is moving the data. She's that middleman. We've got Bob, who is our supervisor or consultant. So he's the person who actually goes out on site, interviews apprentices, interviews trainees. And we've got Carol, and Carol's our manager, CEO, what have you. And she's the person who's responsible for managing both of these employees. So this is what Alice's day will typically contain. So for a quarter of her day, or if you add it up, a quarter of her week, Alice will be receiving registration forms from Bob and from other supervisors. Alice will send emails that she has received to Carol, who's in charge of, in this case, if Bob's sending a registration form, Carol is in charge of the new registrations, and she'll ensure, okay, we need to do a certain business action based on the data we've received. So all the registration forms go through Carol. In your business, you might have one person who's responsible for the overseeing of the information, and this is a pretty typical sort of process where you have, okay, for every single one of these forms, we want Johnny to be looking over it, or in this case, we want Carol to be looking over it. And then after this, Alice stores the form in their company folders for retrieval in the future. And then finally, Alice records the submission of that data in their payroll and trainee management software. So for one of our clients, one of our large group training organization clients, they record, they have to open up the PDF. They have to pull out all of the contained PDF form values, the form field values, and then they have to manually enter that information into Workforce One. And that is quite time consuming, especially when you're dealing with hundreds of forms a day, to identify what information needs to go into the system and to actually go and then manually enter that in. So it's a lot easier now. Sign365 is designed to cut away a lot of Alice's role within the data entry process. Actually, all of Alice's role in it. All Alice is responsible for doing is just making the forms, which you would have in your previous system anyways. And then it is directly, it's from consultant directly to the systems that are required. So looking at it in the context of Bob and Alice, Bob will fill out the forms and Alice needs to do nothing. The information that's entered into these forms will be distributed to your company folders, it'll be emailed to Carol, and it will also go into the payroll system. And that is the crux of it. Sign365 is able to actually automate all that process and cut out all of that time, saving Alice literally hours and hours a week. You know, it works out to be something like, 15 hours a week. And that's incredible. And that's the Sign365 tool. So Sign365 works as a form management system on the iPad OS, and you can fill out your forms. You can send the forms, and it's just like you would fill out a form normally, on paper, but with only one additional step, and that is to connect the information contained within the forms and to connect that form to your company folders, etc. Uh, you just need to add in an identifying value, and that it's probably a good time to actually take a look at the system and how all that works. So I'll just quickly bring this one up here. So, all right. So the way that this one works is when a consultant opens up the form, they'll be brought to this blank page, and then in the top right hand corner, they just need to click New Form, and they've got so there's this design school sign up form. All right, we'll just get that one. And the first thing that a consultant will probably do is they want to rename it to something that makes sense to them. Like, this is Otto's form. So we'll just say Otto School Sign Up. And this can be, sign up. And this can be anything that the consultant desires. It's just for them. And then we just go, okay, yep, now we want to basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a thing called adding a tag. And what a tag is it's a connection between this form and the system. And you can have multiple systems being referenced. So in the case of, even though it says Workforce One here, this form will go to email, it will go to company folders, and it will go through to Workforce One. So because the information contained within the form needs to be matched with what's in the additional systems, what we're doing here is we're matching the Workforce One employee name, which in this case is Otto, to this form. So if we go Workforce One here, and then we search for Otto Octavius, okay, Otto is now matched against this form. So when the form's processed, Workforce One will receive that under Otto's name. So now if we open up the form, we can see Otto Octavius is automatically filled out within the name of the form. And we've also got these dates here which are filled out. We'll just say, I am a student for this one. Yeah, so it works like that. You can fill stuff out. There is signing options, although there's nothing on this form. And then we just go done. And then all we simply need to do now is just submit. Okay, and now that one's submitted, let's just run this through. Might be an idea just to show you on the Workforce One side of things, so I'll move to here. And then stuff's come through on Workforce One. So let's take a look at this now. Oh, great. We can see that, oh no, this is not the right one. So let's just go refresh here. We might be asked to sign back in again. Maybe it likes us. No, it likes us. Okay, yeah, so this actually is the form. And we can verify that by opening this up. Oh, no, different one. take a look here. It does take a few seconds to come through, so bear with me. Here it is. Okay, so if we go download here and open this one up. Is that the right one? I swear this is... Oh, maybe it's... Here it is. Yeah, so it's come through there. So this one here was one I did earlier, so I'll just remove that one. Yeah, delete that. Yeah, and so it's as simple as that. The information goes through to the system, and yeah, that's the long and the short of it. The benefit of this, it means that, you know, Alice is no longer involved in the whole system. The Sign365 is able to automate a lot of the process which Alice used to have to do. Alice doesn't need to oversee this. The form is automatically forwarded to the people that it needs to go to, and you can set it up to forward in the way that you need it to be forwarded. And that's the advantage going on here. So if we look at how the system works, how you can create your own forms, and what's the benefits of using this forms management system. The benefits are that you can use PDF to create these forms. You can build your own forms in Word and then convert them to a PDF and build the forms part over the top of that. And that will be a job for the office administrator, and it should take no longer than 2 hours to build the forms, the pre-existing forms that you might have in Word into Sign365 forms, which are just done through PDF, and then these forms will also be available offline within the Sign365 app. So you'll notice on this on this submissions page on the actual iPad, you've got those blue clouds with the tick inside them. That signifies the upload state of those forms. So if you're offline, these will sit in the submission area of the Sign365 app, and you can then go and do what you need to do while you don't have internet connection. The moment you get back in internet connection, they'll come up. And yeah, so you've got full connectivity with this system, and we make it so that the connectivity is tailor-made to your business. If you need to have lots of different systems set up, and this information going to a lot of different systems, like perhaps you've got time management system, apprentice tracking system, you've got a payroll system, like as group training organizations often do. You've got all that there, and that's the inherent benefit of using it. And yeah, like I said, to elaborate a little bit more on the creating process of forms, to create a form, you just use Word or literally whatever you want, convert that into a PDF, and then you use a PDF manager like Adobe Acrobat or PDF Element, which is what I use, to add in the form fields. So if we're talking about form fields, we're talking about these little fields which are fillable, and it's really straightforward. So yeah, if you're a group training organization and you're thinking, okay, what's Biz365 and Sign365 got to do with group training organizations? Do they really understand us as a business and as an organization? I'll say to you, we've worked with group training organizations for over 5 years. we understand where the group training organization frustrations lie, particularly with this, processing of data. It's just unnecessary, and that's we were actually, when we came up with the Sign365 system, we were approached by a large group training organization to solve this issue. Um, and we also understand supervisor roles. So supervisors tend to be, how should I say this, less technically inclined. And what that means for applications and getting them involved in technology is the technology has to be simple and has to be understandable for them, because otherwise they won't use it or they'll misuse it, and it's just not going to be good. So that's why with the Sign365 user interface, we designed everything to be as elegant and as simple as possible, so that supervisors and consultants are able to understand, okay, this is how I create a new form. It's written new form in the top right hand corner. It's as simple as that. And then that's how it works. So, and we're also, like I mentioned earlier in the cast, we have been partnered with a large group training organization for the entire development of this application. And they are the ones who contacted us in order to actually build the system. So, yeah. And outside of that, we're also partnered with Workforce One, which is one of the largest group training organisation software companies in Australia. And you can trust us. They took a look at the system, and they were really impressed with the way that the system works, and we're excited for the opportunities that it's going to bring to group training organisations as we are. And the other thing, as well as outside of Workforce One, we're able to integrate with a multitude of systems. We're not just locked into Workforce One. We can integrate with any sort of tracking application, your Dropbox, any cloud application, whatever you need, we can integrate with it. So it's about simplifying your relationship with technology, which falls in line with the Biz365 philosophy of simplifying technology for our customers. If there is any concerns that you have about it, whether you're concerned about whether you can integrate with this specific application, have a chat with us. Most likely we'll be able to do it. 90% of applications have what Sign365 needs to actually connect in and hook in and be able to do the integration. So it's as easy as that. Now, if you're looking at Sign365 and you're a business owner and you're thinking, all right, I'm interested, but what's the return on the investment in Sign365? Sign365 does save staff hours per day. Our group training organisations have seen that. They've reported that, and it's happening. They're saving hours and hours on the processing time on these forms. If you're thinking, okay, that's fine and all, but what happens with your system when staff grow, when the workforce grows, is that going to be increased time dealing with the Sign365 system? It's not going to be. Sign365 is super scalable, so whilst you may have more forms that you need to create, and that can lead to a time overhead, the actual processing time, you're not going to be dealing with more processing time as you grow, and that's awesome. So more employees doesn't equal more administrative processing. And the other thing to think about is the reporting side of things. So information searching and procurement, that according to one of the studies, I believe it was from, the name will come to me, Argyle, and they looked at the way that the amount of time that people spend processing information, and I believe it came out to 8.8 hours and that's on average for employees searching for information within a business. So what the reporting does in Sign365 is it allows the information that's within your business to be trackable. So anything that's entering, any form that's being entered through the Sign365 system, you're able to keep track of where that form is at within your business, what systems it's stored in, and that whole process is entirely automated. You All you have to do is go and search that on the Sign365 Administrative Center, and these costs add up. Like the cost of hiring an administrative staff or an office administrator, on average, according to a pay scale, the pay scale 2022 page for office administrators, it's about $49,000 on average to hire a office administrator, um, and that's full time, obviously. So if we're looking at the full time work being 8.8 hours searching for information, and we're looking at the full time work for data entry being around I think it's 2 to 3 hours a day on data entry, or even if it's 1 to 2 hours a day, what you're doing is you're actually saving a quarter or more of the job, up to 60% of the job, just by moving over to Sign365. It affects your staffing decisions. It affects how much of your revenue you're pouring into staff, and that's awesome. Or you can even repurpose stuff. If there's other core functions in your business that need attending to, but are being stymied by the amount of this paper pushing and this amount of busy work, you can go and repurpose your human resources to actually do things that will generate more money, rather than just being a monotonous task. So that is the Sign365 platform. I'm really excited to work with people who are interested in the Sign365 platform. I know that I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about what it's going to be able to do for group training organizations. And if you have any questions or you just want to have a chat with me, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn. If you just search Sam Wyndham Sign365 on Google, you'll see my LinkedIn. You'll be able to reach out for me. I'm always happy to chat. You can also send me an email at sam@biz365.com.au. That's biz365.com.au. And if you have any more questions, just reach out to me there. Thank you so much for tuning into the Sign365 webinar, and I hope to see you in the next one.